So the Crafts Council is the national charity for craft, and it sets out to inspire learning and empower makers, and also nurture businesses in craft. And it's also got a drive to make craft sustainable and more inclusive. As part of the Show Windows Reflections project, we've teamed up with Commentary 21 and Quiet Down There to come together and work with local community groups to select a number of makers from the Crafts Council collection on the theme of amazing women. It's a subject that's really close to our hearts, and we were really excited to work with community groups that pulled out their own interpretation and narratives of the objects that are now on display. We put a long list together of objects from the Crafts Council collection that we thought that might resonate with the theme of amazing women, and it was wonderful to see the community groups find those objects in the collection that resonated with them. They came back to us with their final shortlist of 9 objects, and in there we've got makers such as Adi Tosh, we've got Simone Brewster, we've got Caroline Broadhead, and we've got the wonderful Anne Sutton, as textile designer. The community groups that we worked with are called Coffee Tots, based in City Arcade, and the sessions were run by Quiet Down There. They had 3 sessions with an intergenerational group of women that came together to look and discuss all the objects that we put forward, and to really sort of think about which objects that resonated with them. And I think a lot of the objects and the ideas around them came about sort of post-lockdown, and it was a lot about caring, about touch, about human connectivity, and it really resonates with the objects that are now seen on display. For example, we have the Freddie Robbins Hand of God, and it's a sort of large overscaled glove. At the end of each finger there's another glove, and it resonated with those intergenerational women, that the idea of nurturing families, that you're pulled in every direction, you need to have 5 hands rather than just 2 to help everybody. You're helping your children, you're helping your grandparents and your parents. There is another piece in the same collection. There's a photograph by Nicola Tree of Adi Tosh gloves, and they're just surgical gloves that are coated in a brass sort of gold dust. And obviously these plastic gloves resonated with her, especially sort of post-lockdown, with frontline workers that are having to wear PPE kits the whole time, and they're called precious disposables. The Crafts Council collection is really exciting because you can unearth different types of materials that are used in the making, such as glass, textiles, and printmaking, and weaving, and jewellery. And it was really interesting to see that the community groups selected a kind of diverse range of objects. So we've got a piece by Caroline Broadhead, who's a jewellery maker, but actually made this wonderful sort of nylon filament dress. And we've got more textile pieces by Anne Sutton, and this wonderful sort of porcelain figure by Claire Kearney. So a really nice range of works that seem to sort of celebrate what the Crafts Council collection is about. We were delighted to be invited to take part in the Show Windows project. It really resonates with what we do and what we are aiming to do, which is to encourage local communities to interpret the collection that we have, because it's their collection, it's not ours, it's not our voice. We want the public and we want people to engage with our collection and make it meaningful to them. So the fact that they're writing the interpretation and it's got their voice, as part of the show window, is really important. So, and that's part of our sort of strategic goals, is that we want to increase the narratives that we share. We want to hear the stories that resonate with people. We want the collection to be more representative of the community around us.